Welcome back, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use Inventor and create new solids as well as doing some extrusions. Alright, so this is not a very complicated part, but you can see that I have two other blocks kind of sitting on this main L block, and I'm going to show you how to create those and leave those as independent solids, or you can have them unite to the main body as what we've done in most of the other extrusions. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and click the new icon here, and I'm going to be using the standard millimeter template. So I'm just going to double click on the standard millimeter template. And then you might be asking, how do I know which plane to select? I kind of base it off of the drawing that I showed you before, so I'm going to create that L shape in the orientation where it leaves me with the front view looking that direction. So I'm just going to click this icon here, and then I'll click on the YZ plane. Next, I'll build my L shape, and I'll just kind of draw an L going this direction, straight up this direction, and I'm just trying to make sure that I keep my horizontal, vertical, and perpendicular constraints actually applying for me now. Alright, let's go ahead and put some dimensions on this. So remember, the first dimension that you create is going to be your scale dimension. So once I put the 96 on here, I'm expecting my part to scale. Next, I'll go ahead and put this dimension on. This is 64. This one will be 16. And then I'm going to use an equal constraint. So I'm going to use equal, select this line, and I'll select this line. I have two more dimensions needed here. So I'm going to go to dimension, select that bottom line and this yellow dot. Go ahead and click and place that dimension. Select the 64 dimension and divide that by 2. Likewise, when I select, and it doesn't matter which line you start with, either that vertical line or that one, and click here. Once I place the dimension, I will select the 96 dimension here at the bottom and divide that by 2. Let's go ahead and finish sketch. Just going to scroll back a little bit. I'll go ahead and extrude this shape now. I'm going to send it both directions, and I'm going to give it a distance of 64. Alright, next I'll go ahead and place my slot. So I'm going to select this face here, select the icon with the green plus. I'm going to choose a rectangle to create, and it's going to be the rectangle with 2-point center. I'm just going to define the center first, and then I'll kind of stretch out the rest of the rectangle. Let's go ahead and put some dimensions on this. So I know that the dimension from this edge here over to the center of my rectangle is going to be 40. Alright, the next dimension that I do know is that from this line to this top of this line here, it has to be sitting at 20. One more dimension that I do know is I know the radius of this circle here. So if the radius is 8, then that tells me that the distance of this line should be 16. Alright, let's do a few more things here to prepare. Let's go ahead and make a collinear constraint between this line and then this yellow line here. Just going to scroll in a little bit. I'll go ahead and place the circle at the top here. You can use an arc as well, and I would use the center point arc of this one, but in most of the time, instead of fooling with arcs, I usually use circles and trim them. But I can use an arc here, and what it's asking me to do is go ahead and place the center point. I can click here, and I can click that end point. It kind of wraps around to that end point. So if you want to use that, you can use that, or you can use a circle and trim it. Go ahead and select this line here. Go ahead and make it a construction line. This is all finished and ready to go. Go ahead and finish sketch. Let's go ahead and extrude this. And then we're going to send it through all by selecting this icon. And then we're going to reverse the direction by selecting this one. Once you see that it is red and it's cutting through my part. I'll go ahead and go to OK. I'll go ahead and put the fillet on here just so I can finish up this whole entire shape on this one. So let's go and use the fillet command. Go ahead and set the radius of that circle or that arc on the corner there at 32. Then I'm just going to select this arc. Okay. Alright, I'm going to rotate around to the other side here, just so I can work and start building my part along this side. So I'm going to select this face. Once again, select the icon with the green plus. Then I'm going to create a rectangle from this endpoint up to somewhere here. I'm going to use a regular 2-point rectangle. I'm going to select that endpoint and kind of put it somewhere up here in space. Let's go ahead and put some dimensions on this. I know that the dimension going across here is going to be set to 40. And then the height of this should be set to 28. Alright, next I'll go ahead and put the circle on here just to show you where that's going to fall at, right? So that circle happens to be right in the middle of this, or if you want to put it at the 36, but I can be accurate just like the drawing. I can just create a circle here, and then I can place the dimension from here to here and make that number 36. Okay? I'm also going to make this center on top of this line here. I'm going to do that with the coincidence constraint. Select that endpoint and then select that line. And then the last thing I have to do is go ahead and set a dimension to this circle here. So I'm going to go to Dimension. I'm going to select my circle. And then when I'm coming out to place it, so before you do a left click, do a right click here, choose Dimension Type, and then choose Radius, and then left click here. Now I can type in the radius of that circle, which is 12. Alright, I'm going to leave it at this point, just so I don't have to trim, and then some of my constraints or some of the dimensions on my circle may disappear. So I'm going to leave it at this point. I'm going to go ahead and go to Finish Sketch. Then I'm going to go to Extrude. And I'm just going to select this profile on the inside of here. Once it does that, you should see it start giving me a preview of it. It has a distance of 40. And now we're at the point to where we have to decide that, do I want to have this as part of my other one, or do I want to have it as a totally new solid? In this case, we're going to choose the new solid option. That option is going to be just by clicking this icon here. So once I click this icon, I'm going to hit OK. And you're going to see that it leaves a line between them, right? So this is now an independent solid from that one. So if I wanted to move it or do some other things to it, I do have those options. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go ahead and put the wedge that's located here. So I'm going to select this face. Once again, select the green plus icon here. That's going to start my new sketch. I'll start a line. Start at this green endpoint. Place at that endpoint. Come back to that green endpoint. And then back up to the original. Alright. Oh, nope, I don't think it drew my last line there. Let me go ahead and redraw that one. I'm just going to draw a line from that endpoint going straight up to that endpoint. Okay. I'll use Finish Sketch now. You should see that I do have that profile, and it's a complete and closed profile. So let's use the Extrude command. This one has a distance of 12. Let's go ahead and reverse the direction. And once again, I have that option to create a new solid, and I can make it independent, or I can attach it to either one of these solids that I wanted. So if I wanted to attach it back to this one, you can see that when I select this icon, it has the bigger solid highlighted. If I don't want that one to be the one, I can close this out and then select this one, and now it'll be attached to that solid. So you do have the options of controlling which solid that you want it to be attached to. But in our case, let's just go ahead and leave it both as a new solid. Hit the OK button, and you are now completed with this, right? Just to make it look like the picture, I will hit the home button just to spin it back around. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and can't wait to see what I come up with next. And thank you for subscribing and watching. I really do appreciate it. Until the next video.